Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Cosas Buenas. Today I get to interview my good friends Aran and Ken Calhoun. They've been married for 2 years this month. Yay, go them. They are two awesome individuals who have come together to just create a beautiful marriage and life together. And I'm so excited for you guys to kind of get to know them a little bit and just hear a good conversation about a healthy relationship. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cosas Buenas. I'm here with my good friends Ken and Aranita Calhoun. We're going to be talking a little bit about just the married life today. I can't relate, but they know what they're talking about a little bit. So we're just going to get some real honest, just talk here and just jump right into it. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we'll just start talking.
Thank you, Melody. My name is Aranita Calhoun, and this is
Ken.
Kenneth Calhoun, my
Yeah.
husband, of course. We have been together for about 5 years, completely. We met on Match.com. Yes, it actually works. And we've been married for about 2 years. We're getting ready to celebrate our second anniversary.
Yep.
Yes, that's so exciting. So they've kind of been together for a minute now. They navigated through, the whole dating thing, them being engaged. They've also lived in separate areas. And one thing that always stood out to me about Aran and Ken is that they both lead their own lives, as in they both have separate interests, the things they do. They're both very true to themselves, but yet they've still found common ground in their relationship. And I think one thing that I've just always admired still to this day is that they maintain a true sense of themselves, but yet they kind of know when to come together too. And I think that's something really healthy. A lot of times these days we see people spending 100% of the time with their significant other, which is fine. There's nothing per se wrong with that, but I thought it would be cool to focus on what the other side of that is and just the benefits of doing you and then knowing when to come together and do y'all. So how did you said you guys met on Match. When you were first dating and stuff, what was that like for y'all? Was it just kind of like your typical talking, jumping into all that, or was there anything different when you guys started talking to each other?
Well, I think at one point we both had to, first coming in, understand that we both were at a point where we were really ready to date and explore what that was like. So we were not just dating one another at that time. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, I think that when you use something like Match or just really commit to finding somebody, you're really looking for someone who has the qualities that you could see potential in long term, right? So it's a little bit different. It's not just like, oh, I see that person, they look attractive, I'm just gonna visit. It's more like, okay, is this person serious about being in a relationship? Is this person looking for the same sort of things out of life that I'm looking for? How do they view and approach things? Is that something that I'm compatible with? And so we were systematically checking those things off at the beginning, as opposed to just talking and having a good time and hanging out.
So your mentality was different going into this than it had been, just casually dating.
And I think too, we have to understand that if you're signed up for a dating app like Match, which you have to pay for, I think you have to understand that this person is investing in themselves at the same time. So they're not exclusively dating you. When we were first dating, Ken and I were not exclusive.
Right.
It took time to get there.
Yeah.
We had to have multiple conversations with each other, more so checking in and warming up to one another. And it wasn't 3 dates and then we're boyfriend girlfriend type of thing there.
Yeah.
It's so okay, I'm really kind of digging this person right now. Let's see if he calls me tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that fear, especially when you're in this new world of online dating. At least it was new to me at that time.
Yeah.
I had just come out of a 5-year relationship, and at the time I was like, okay, the people I'm meeting, they're cool and all, but is this somebody who I really want to spend the rest of my life with? Is it somebody who we have common goals, like he's mentioned before? And at the time, I wasn't meeting that person, and I believe that Match just brought me to Ken.
And would y'all say that because y'all were both open to, you know, and you guys were thinking a little bit alike, you guys basically kind of said the same thing in different words as far as like you were thinking long term here. Do you think that that is really kind of something that even attracted y'all to each other, maybe the more you got to know each other?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. I don't think that it would have worked if we were on two different wavelengths. If he
Yeah.
wanted something more so or casual, whereas I wanted something long term and was trying to change him. We had a conversation earlier today about how I think sometimes people go into it with two different mindsets,
Yeah.
and sometimes that does not work.
Yeah.
No, that's
You have to be aligned, because if not, someone's going to become disappointed and frustrated, and that frustration is going to express itself one way
in
or
one way
another.
or the other. Yeah, exactly. Same. So kind of going on that on as far as being aligned. So yes, y'all are like where sometimes your mentality is the same. But like I already mentioned, y'all are two different people. You guys both do your own thing. You have your own interests. So how do you feel like that helps you guys balance each other out?
So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I do what I want. She does what she wants to do,
Yeah, pretty much.
and
This is true, y'all.
if it's not the same thing, that's cool. Like, go. I'm gonna do me right here.
Like I'll
You
see
do
you
you
after.
there. I'll see you later. Like
Yeah.
it's having the freedom to more or less do what you want without fear that that's going to somehow interfere um, with your relationship.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Right, right.
There's always clear boundaries, but yeah, so long as I'm within those boundaries, I can do what I want to do,
Yeah.
and it's cool. And neither person has a problem with it.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I would
definitely
say
vouch for that.
you also need time to understand that every single thing that this person enjoys is not going to be something that you automatically enjoy. For instance, I mean, he loves video games. He loves I would say, even Twitch. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't quite understand how to watch other people play video games. Not saying anything's wrong with Twitch. I mean,
It's just two different
it's
interests.
not my forte. It's not like my oomph. But I mean, that's his thing. So of course we can chill out on the couch together. He could watch Twitch and I'll be on the couch, but am I going to be 100% tuned in and like, okay, I know this person and I know what, I'm not, I may not be that intrigued about it or at all, to be honest. I might just want to be under
Just kind of cuddle. That's it.
To be honest, I might have the Nintendo Switch or my phone in my hand, but you get to the point where you accept that person for whatever they may like, and you understand that you don't have to spend every waking moment with them. They can have their own entity and be within themselves, and it's completely okay.
So as far as y'all getting along and stuff, do you feel like y'all being okay? And both of y'all said you just basically accept each other for who you are. You guys know your limits, you know your boundaries, and how to respect each other. So do you feel like that really helps eliminate conflict and stuff? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty obvious answer, but I don't know. What's your take on that?
For me personally, I'm not gonna fight over anything that's trivial. So, like, if when I have something that I really have a problem with, it's gonna be bad. But it's very rare, because most things really, in the grand scheme of things, don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. You only have so many issues that can be grand enough for a big fight. It'd be like something around taking a job in a new city without really involving the other person, or
a house purchase.
A house purchase.
Yeah.
Or something that's going to
Like
be
a
a
big
big investment
decision.
and has a life-changing impact on the both of you. Yeah, I'll fight over that. But anything else, even if I don't agree with it, is it really worth the argument? That's a time investment, emotional investment, time investment. Like, is this thing worth it? No. And so I'm just like, for me, I'd be like, okay, well, whatever. Like,
So if I'm staying out till 2:00 in the morning, every night, and then it would be a problem.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be like, what's up?
Now,
I could see him being like, it's Thursday night.
you were out once or twice. That's not like, I mean, is this really worth it? Do I trust this person? You know, if the answer is yes, I trust this person, is it really worth the drama of having the fight, or am I just going to brush it off? And, you know, when both people have a little bit of that mentality, there isn't a need for a lot of argument. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that you broke it down that way, because I feel like sometimes when it comes to arguing, myself included, like we can just make it a little too emotional. And like a lot of the times the things you're saying and the decisions you're making in that moment, you're really acting off emotion. So I feel like the way that Ken just kind of broke it down, it's like, no, like you can just stop and ask yourself, like even despite the emotions that you're feeling, be like, is it really worth it? Like, do I want to go down this path? Like, what's going to happen if I do, type stuff. But a lot of people don't take even that simple step to just think that. You just go straight to reacting. So I really like the way you broke that down, because that makes it very simple. It's like, yeah, when two people do have that mentality, there's not much to argue about. So I like that. Okay. How do you feel about that, Aran? Like, what's your take on what he said?
Well, I mean, we both know that I am the more emotional, flamboyant, high energy person.
Definitely.
So I will be more likely ready to blaze those guns.
Yeah.
However, I have learned through this relationship in particular that, I mean, you are always thinking about the long term, no matter how you feel at that moment. And I've also learned more so guys are not mind readers. I've learned to just say how I feel. I mean, but watch how I say it. I mean, you still have to be mindful of your words, but use them. I mean, sometimes I even caught myself, he'll say, well, are you okay? What's wrong? Can I get you anything? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay. And deep down, I'm like, oh, so annoyed. I don't understand why he didn't just do the dishes, blah, 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 blah. And he's like,
what's up with her?
Okay, so I'm going out the room. I already asked you.
I'm gonna do my thing.
And whenever you're ready,
you know where to find me.
Tell me what's wrong. But sometimes I think as women, and I don't know if all women are like this. I'll just say myself, that sometimes I take for granted that he is my person, and he will understand if I'm a little agitated about the dishes, and he may not even be thinking about them. Like, he can thinking twice, like at all. It hasn't crossed his mind. There's a billion other things.
You've been thinking about it, and he's like, huh?
He's like, oh, she want me to do? Oh, that's easy. And if I
could have done that right then, right?
Like, oh, that's what you gotta have to do about. Like, I can do that. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking like, hey, if I could just be more of a communicator, even though I don't think we have issues or anything in that category, I just think that sometimes I even caught myself saying, I'm okay, or brushing it off like it's okay, and holding like a slight attitude for no reason though. Like, why do I even have this little random?
Like, what's really wrong here?
He can't read my mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to lay it on the table. Like, I am agitated slightly about this, and just leave it at that. No nagging needed. This is it.
No, I love that you even said that you like watch your tone, because I feel like you and I, if Aran and I are talking, especially about something we're angry about or whatever, like we just be going. So we're not really thinking about how we're saying what we're saying. Like, we're just venting how we feel, and like you're gonna get it in that moment, and you're gonna feel whatever we're feeling, right? So I love that she said that she has, like, she tells, like, watch your tone, like, because I feel like that's a big thing. Like, what you're saying may not be the meanest thing, like, but the way you say it can really take a fight from here to like a whole other level. And I feel like girls especially, we're real good at that, like, sarcastic, like, passive aggressive, I'm fine, like, whatever, with a roll of the eyes and the attitude. So I think it's important to kind of keep yourself in check a little bit.
I would say taking a moment to think works both ways, because every once in a while someone does need to be checked.
Yeah.
And when you take a moment to think, you pick exactly the way to check them to get the intended result. Versus just going at the easy stuff that you can nick on.
Literally. And then later on, you're like, oh, I should have said that. Like, you can avoid that problem.
So we both, when we have to get in a big fight, it's snip deep, get after the heart of the issue.
Right.
And then kind of get over it. So
all in one, though.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to understand too that you can't nitpick every single thing does not need to be an argument, like we said it before. But then too, you can't bring all those like a overwhelming amount of issues to the table within one argument either. Like, stick to the point. What is it that's bothering you? How can we fix it, get to a solution? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to grow old with this person. Yeah. You're not trying to just find any old thing and be out. That's not what's the end goal? That's all you're thinking about.
Well, that goes right along with what he was saying as far as, like, does it really matter? And Aran's actually really put me onto that. Like, when I'm just mad about stuff sometimes, she's like, but, like, is it that big a deal? Like, what's it really going to change? Like, or just stuff we're talking about. She's like, what's it going to matter if they think that? Like, whatever. And it's like, in the moment, you want to be annoyed, but then you think about it and you're like, no, what does it matter? Like, you're right. It's not that big a deal. But taking that time to think, I agree, because I don't do it a lot. And when I do, it makes a difference. So I definitely agree with that.
Like I said, when the emotional you is mad and like, it's time, and the mental you goes, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're at 6 or 7 things all related.
Yeah.
Clearly says there's a problem. Okay, now I know I need to have that serious conversation.
Right.
But outside of that, you just respond more appropriately to the situation.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's a good life skill, period.
Right.
Period. So if y'all ever have any kind of conflict, not between each other, but just like in life, period, because, we have family, we have friends, like life is not always peaceful. Are y'all pretty good about not letting that affect your home at all? Like, do you just kind of vent to each other?
I would say that if anything, we are already communicating with one another how we already feel about certain situations. Let's just say with friends, when it comes to family members, when it comes to things even at work, because I think that work for both of us is our biggest stressors, I guess, that we will say, that's outside of our relationship. Yeah. So I would say that at the end of the day, after talking to one another, what may be bothering us at the job or outside of our relationship, I think it's important for the other person to just be there, be a listening ear. Okay. Sometimes that person might be in the position to give advice, and sometimes they might just be that person who you want to vent to at that time. I think that Ken picks his times where he is like, okay, is this the time that she really wants advice because I'm ready to give it? And I think sometimes he does kind of fall back and say, okay, I think this is just a time where she just wants to have that time where it's like, let me just chill out. Right. And listen at that point. But then I also think that person also holds you accountable for the things that you may not want to hear. That tough criticism that you can't hear from anybody else outside of your husband. Because honestly, I would say Ken picks up on things that I do every day or habitually, and I don't even realize that I'm doing those things. And so I will say that he can, like he said, check me, I guess, like nobody else can. Yeah. Like, I may not like it at the time, but I can definitely understand that he's coming from a better place.
Right. So to begin to kind of sort of wrap things up, why do each of y'all think that it's important to maintain your own sense of self in your relationship?
Well, I definitely think that as you grow older with a person, that you're both going to have interested changes over a period of time. What I wanted to do 5 years ago is not what I'm interested in doing now. I don't know if I have a short attention span or not, but I will say that certain goals have changed as I matured. And I'm proud to say that I have someone who's on the journey and on the path to change with me.
Yeah.
In a sense, I don't think that I was into fitness and healthy living as much as I am now.
Yeah.
But I think that both of us want to grow old together. We see a future together, and we want to have a healthy family and make sure that our children, when that time comes, have a positive and healthy environment to grow up in.
Yeah.
So as our household, and we think about how we're eating on a daily basis, and it goes even into grocery shopping, like something that small does make a big difference. Are you communicating with that person? Are you making choices that are the best for everybody in the household? Are you being selfish at the time? I think all of those things come into account now that I am married, and I think about what is the best for both of us and our future, and it's not just about me anymore.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. I think he's balanced me out in a lot of ways. I can definitely appreciate his taste in food.
Ken can cook, y'all. Ken's gonna have to do a little cooking show on here.
I did not eat sushi. I did not try
girl
or anything. And now he's like, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, I want lobster.
He expanded your palate, girl.
He's like, wait, whoa. He's like, who's paying them?
Right, like you're like, you put me onto this. You started this, sir. Like
you started this. I want to finish it.
Ken does what's up when it comes to food.
My palate has been one thing that has developed since I met him in such a positive way. I just think about the things that I want now. I'm thinking about future, long term, even building generational wealth. And I mean, I know it's a whole different topic in itself, but
it's stuff that people don't always think about.
And I never thought about those things as an individual.
Right.
But now that I want to build, and I think about, it's not just about me. I think about what we could be in 10, 15, 20 years. And I'm like, oh, watch out.
Y'all are ready. No, and you definitely are like that. I will say, just because I'm around Aran a lot, if you couldn't tell already, but that's something she's always kind of thinking about, like the end game type stuff, like always talking about, and it's not just in one area, like she really thinks about it in all areas. So that's one thing. I don't know, I learned a lot of stuff from you, but definitely like she's practicing what she preaches in that sense, for sure. Like she's always thinking about, okay, what's going to happen to the bigger picture here. And that's cool, because a lot of people are just focused on like the now decisions and like what's going to make me happy today, like what can I do today, and that's not how you get to certain goals. So Ken, how do you think that kind of being true to yourself in the relationship has helped?
It's very, very difficult for people to maintain a facade if day in and day out. So if you are with someone where you can't be who you are, in the long run, it's really not going to work out.
Yeah.
So, always very cognizant of that, very aware of that. And when me and Aran met and it continued to go well, and you realize, okay, like I can just be me and it's fine, it's good. It's okay, right? So I don't have to think about like, oh, am I keeping it real? Am I not keeping? I mean, it's not how things work, right? It's just not. So, I'm me. I more or less do what I want, and she more or less does what she wants, and we're aligned where we're aligned, and we go our separate ways on things when we need to go our separate ways, but we continue to communicate and just make sure we keep each other in the loop on what is going
What
on.
do you think
So,
something that we are aligned on that you were surprised about
That's a good question. I'm like,
I put them on the spot.
I'm like, I want to know too. Like, tell us, Ken.
I don't know if there was really anything. Maybe finances would probably be the only thing, and even then, it was just like kind of. Um, but that's like the only thing I can really think of that was like really a surprise. Like I said from the beginning, the entire process was about finding somebody to be with long term. So I was already trying to check off the mindset things that become very, very important
Right.
in a longer term relationship. So
okay, cool. So I know Aran mentioned that you've kind of helped her expand her palette and stuff. Is there any interest or any things that Aran's kind of put you onto that maybe you weren't into before you knew her?
I don't know. I would say Aran does a great job of getting me sort of out of my shell.
Okay.
In social settings, and is sort of the, she really brings a lot of the energy, for our relationship. And so I wouldn't say that she necessarily has put me onto anything, but she's certainly gotten me to go and experience all that life has to offer far more often than I was when I was alone. So
I love that. That's cool. No, Aran definitely brings the energy. She comes with like,
I was just thinking like, yeah, because I'm like all the time, and I know he's like, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
So,
no, yeah, because I think you and I, the first time we talked, like we actually had a conversation, we just started having a conversation, whatever. And then Ken, it took like a few times of coming around and like seeing him, because he's pretty observant too. He just kind of sits back, like just watching everybody. And then over time, he kind of would start talking, and now we just all be talking. It's like whatever. But yeah, I think it's cool though that y'all are different in that sense, because Aran can do enough talking, and so can I for everybody. Just go on. Well, I really enjoyed having you guys on and just getting your insight on what your experience has been like, just even dating and now being a beautiful married couple. So thank you guys so much for coming on and joining us. I know I kind of pushed y'all a little bit out of your comfort zone. You guys really helped me out, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Melody, and hopefully we'll be doing this 10 years away from now. Maybe you'll be on Bravo.
Maybe it'll be something, girl. Who knows?
And maybe we'll be like $10 million richer, no?
I mean, we will be. I don't know how it's happening, but we will be richer. I don't know how, but we're going to get there.
Yes.
All right. Well, yes, thank you guys for joining us, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, if you have a business that you would like to advertise, please shoot me an email at mmgmua@gmail.com, or you can DM me. I would love to feature as many small businesses as possible. So yeah, reach out if you know somebody, if you have your own business. Don't be shy. We're here to help you guys, so please don't hesitate to reach out. Next week's episode is going to be with my girl Liz from Rich Gifts Dallas. She has an amazing company that she's going to be telling us all about. And she's also going to be giving us some insight on what it's like to run a business and be a mama. It was a great conversation, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. See you next week.